Okay. Hello.
Just employing all of our people.
All of our team to put together these lives,
It takes a village.
It really does, to raise children and to do coffee times with Element. So that's great. So, you ready for another chaotic week?
Are you?
No.
Is the better question?
No, I'm not. I told my husband, I've told everyone I've talked to on Monday morning, I just need to get through this week.
Yeah, and you're not the only one. Like,
I know.
is it a shift in like the cosmic universe? Like,
know.
there's something going on.
I don't know what's going on.
Full moon? I'm not
Yeah.
sure. Something.
But hey, let's talk about the river for a second, shall we?
Well,
River update from Element. It be high, people.
It's real
be high.
and the problem is like it actually looks really beautiful.
It's gorgeous. It looks amazing, but my Lanta.
I'm nervous.
I'm a little nervous too. We had one of our colleagues here at the office went down to Grand Forks, and she said that the amount of water they had there, and for those of you who don't know, the Red River is one of 5 rivers that flows north, which we've discussed. And anyways,
coffee time?
I don't know if we have, but that's a little tidbit. You're welcome.
Yeah.
That you can take with you for the rest of the
more
day.
you know.
But yeah, the problem is Grand Forks water comes up, right?
Yes.
And if they have a lot of water, we're
in
gonna
trouble.
have, so hopefully, anyways, I thought, like, I keep looking at it, I'm like, it's getting really high out there, so.
And you can see it flowing. That's all coming from North Dakota right there.
Yippers, so that's a good time.
Yeah, so the issue there is that if it continues to rain and then this freezes and then we get a lot of snow in the winter and then our spring,
Could be kind of sketch
a
mode.
little dodgy.
And when you relate that to real estate, obviously protecting your property from flood issues, that sort of thing can be a real big problem. So, and actually that's what we want to talk about today. Not about flooding, but that's a terrible topic first thing Monday morning. But to talk about fall maintenance, just in general, some of the things that we could do, and that actually brought up how long we've been doing this. Because I'm like, did we have coffee time last year? And I'm like, I don't think we did, but we've been going since January, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
We're coming close.
Coming close.
And there's only less than 90 days left of this year.
That's disgusting. Why did you have to say those words to me? Actually, I was thinking about it the other day because we had Thanksgiving early because our family's away for Thanksgiving. And I'm like, we're eating Thanksgiving dinner, which means Halloween and then Christmas.
Yeah.
And then we're on to 2020, peeps.
Yeah.
That's craziness.
I think it's really
Crazy.
one of those things that like shoots you into like, because you're always on the go, right? You're
Always.
just like,
Until you get slapped in the face with, it's October, people. And then you're like, oh,
wait a second.
Where did this year go? So if you guys are feeling it, we're feeling it too.
yeah,
It's-
maybe revisit those
Are you gonna
Those
say
lists.
New
Yes.
Year's
Yes.
resolutions in
Yes.
October? That sounds about my timing.
I'm just
Like,
saying,
oh.
because like everything gets away from you, so maybe revisit it and see what you can do with the last 3 months.
Yeah.
Right?
Some
I'm
people
just
are
saying.
really good that way. I know that there's like this thing out there.
The
where
last 90 days.
Drink
Drink
more water. Do a bunch
All
of
the things.
All the things
Everything
you need
you
to
can
do.
jam into
Yes.
90 days.
Yeah, jam it into because it's not busy enough, right?
Yeah.
So let's just jam a little bit more in there.
Anyway, that's not what we're here for.
Anyhow,
So the fall maintenance,
yes.
our number one is always going to be water maintenance, and that's really
Yes, always.
obviously the entire year. But fall, there are certain things that you can do now that will help you and set yourselves up for success in terms of your winter and your spring.
Yes.
So first and foremost is water maintenance. So the sump pumps,
Should be on.
keep those
still.
guys on.
Well, you know what, and I think in normal years, by this time, it really has dried up and the ground started, we haven't had a frost yet, like a killing frost yet. So that just says keep your sun pits on because your sun pits are going to be the things that are going to keep water away from you, and that will be very good. But then do be mindful when the ground does start to freeze, do turn them off because
Yeah.
obviously you don't want to burn out your sun pit motor. They're not inexpensive, and please be reminded they only do last 2 to 3 years. A lot of people are like, oh, I've never changed my sun pit motor and I've been here for 15 years. It's not a good
Yikes.
thing.
That's scary.
Not a good thing. Unless you have like some uber duper amazing sun pit motor. Most of the time they should only last about 2 to 3 years if they're operational. So that's one thing. Go on.
So
Tell me more.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Eaves and downspouts.
Yes.
So make sure your downspouts are still down, first and foremost.
Yes.
A lot of people are like putting them up. Nah, let's keep those down. And remember that the water can't flow out of them if the eaves are super jammed up.
If they're clogged.
So
yeah, it makes sense.
Winnipeg has a ton of mature trees.
Yes.
We always have like just I don't know. You should be doing that pretty much every couple of weeks, but still stay on top of that. As we're gonna have there's quite a bit of greenery out there.
It's beautiful. We've had so much rain that literally it's still green.
Yeah.
So I'm not hating it, but it's just interesting.
It's interesting.
I've never I've only been here for 15 years, which is a long time, don't get me wrong. But I wasn't here in the flood of 97, and they're saying a lot of the same attributes. Not saying it's going to be the flood of 97. That's not what I'm saying.
No, because
but I'm
we've
just
spent
saying
so much.
We've done
exactly
so many things to try to prohibit that. But they're just saying with how high the river is and stuff like that. Again, that's just stuff for us to be mindful of, so that you're thinking ahead, right? Like if worst case scenario, how would we protect ourselves? Again, not anticipating anything terrible, but it's interesting for sure. For me, for someone who's from Calgary, I've never seen the river this high in the fall, so it's kind of interesting. So I'm sure people from here have seen it before, but yeah.
Along with that too, speaking of it being so green, keep cutting your grass.
Yes, do one really good last grass cutting, because I think that will help.
Yeah, break the leaves,
and
get
also
everything off the lawn.
I've heard, now again, I'm not a landscaping expert, but I've heard it's actually a good time of year to actually fix your grass, so to lay seed and do all that sort of thing, because my understanding is limited again, but the seed dies and then in the spring it'll come back to life. So actually a good time to start doing some of that, especially if you're thinking of selling in the spring, and you want your grass to be all green and pretty and lush. Do some of that patching this year, and if you want to learn more, obviously I'm sure there's YouTube videos you can watch and stuff like that to get more info. But
it's getting a little late in the year for this, so if you haven't addressed it, I'm hoping you have already. But any slopes towards the house,
yes.
So get that back onto a negative grade for sure.
What does negative grade mean?
Sloping away from your home.
She uses fancy words. I'm simple that way.
But make sure that the dirt beside your house slopes away, not down towards your foundation.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
There you go.
For those of us who may not know what negative grade means,
there you go.
That was an excellent description.
I heard this one too, which I don't know because I'm not a botanist. And we don't do anything for our perennials.
Yes.
Whoops. But I think at this time you're also supposed to attack those perennials. So anything you have to do with
attack them?
Not attack
that seems
them.
aggressive.
Attack the maintenance portion of them. That makes me question, why do you even get perennials if you still have to deal with them?
I kind of like the fact that perennials, in my mind, they just come back all the time, right?
Yeah.
So,
but apparently there's a little bit of work you're supposed to do.
Yeah, you're supposed to trim them up and get off all the dead branches and stuff like that. So again, there's lots of information on different parts that you can kind of get some of that. But definitely take care of them, because it is the nice part of perennials is they do come back, but if you don't maintain them properly, they do come back brown or dead or whatever, and that's not so pretty. What other things?
The patio furniture.
Patio furniture. Start putting it away. Now, this is me speaking to myself, because we left ours out pretty much the whole month of September and October, or the start of October, and it's drenched. And note to self, it's probably not going to get hot enough for it to dry out completely.
No.
So I'm really hoping today and tomorrow are going to be good days for that, and then we're going to be putting that sucker away.
Yeah.
Because it's just
so where are you storing your patio furniture?
Well, my husband has been debating for a long time to get a massive shed, and I have told him no. We will not be getting a massive shed because we don't have that much of a yard. So it'll go into our basement.
Garage? Oh, basement.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's that.
Yep, so that's fun. That's really fun. So anyway, that brings us to our next point. Clean out your garages. I know usually in the summertime, that's when you kind of get a little bit lazy. It's nice out. You don't really care about driving into your garage. But now's that time where you probably want to be in your garage and not.
I almost started my car this morning.
A little
I didn't do it. But I was like, shit. Nope. We're not going to do that.
Can't do it. It was, I think, 10 degrees outside?
Yeah, I know. But I was like, I'm tired. I still want to be warm. I don't want to be cold.
I get it.
Anyway, first world problems. We had someone ask us to well, actually someone recently who wanted to list their house, you know, is this going to be a bad time to sell going into the fall? And this is, I think, the most common question we really get. When is the best time to sell?
And we have talked about this before on here, but yeah.
So what if you are in a position where you are on the fence, whether you go to list your house now or whether you wait until after the snow, we get that. You don't want to hit the snow, understood. However, there are some strategies to help you to ensure that your house does in fact sell before the snow.
Yes.
So the first and foremost, and this is literally always, but the first and foremost is be mindful of your pricing. So like I said, if we took a listing today and we run its course for 60 or 90 days, we would be hitting the snowfall. So
we'll be hitting Christmas, man.
That's the issue. So the situation there is, if you are pricing it properly, then you know you have it wrapped up in a timely fashion. But that is something that you have to be willing to work with your realtor with and hear them out on the facts of where the market truly is.
Yeah.
And what you can be looking at. And the thing is that one thing I think people are like, well, you know what? If I wait till the spring, will I make more money? There's no guarantee though.
There is no guarantee.
We don't. That.
Yeah, because I mean, typically, yes, spring markets will be a little bit busier. But I always tell people, and this is why that question's a little bit loaded, because it really depends on what you're selling, what price point you're in, your location, a few other variables. But at the end of the day, in the spring, yes, it is the ideal time to sell. But remember, everybody feels that way. So now your house, if it's a really stellar house, is going to be one of many stellar houses. It's not going to be the only stellar house. So that's why there is opportunity sometimes when you, especially in those lower price points where you're kind of like first time home buyer price points, I would say, so like under 350, those ones there, they can do well almost any time of year if they're in really good shape, they look really good, they've been well maintained, they've been updated, and you're coming in at a reasonable price. Those ones will do well almost any time of year. So that's where I think that's a bit of a loaded question sometimes.
Always.
But yeah, fall is a good time. But again, price sensitivity is a little bit higher in the fall because you can run into colder months. But to also know, like if your house has been on the market for more than, I would say, probably 3-4 weeks, your chances of you getting the list price that you're asking for is a little bit more limited. There's not very often that a house has been on the market for a month or two and all of a sudden it's getting its original list price ask. So just be cognizant of that. There will always be those price sensitivities, but especially in the fall, given that you're running into the winter, it's that much more. But also selling in the fall, remember there are buyers. I mean, for the most part, let's say young families that have kids that are school age, they want to be in their homes by September, typically, unless there's some prevailing circumstance that they have to move within the school year. But for the most part, most families want to be in. But there's other kind of buyers out there. There's first-time home buyers. There's single buyers. There's baby boomers. There's people downsizing. There's people being transferred from other provinces. There's all sorts of buyers out there. So don't limit yourself. Again, depending on what you're selling, don't limit yourself to just one season because you could be missing out on a good opportunity to sell at other times of year. So
yeah, and then just positioning yourself in the market in terms of your presentation. So
yeah,
your curb appeal, you know, making sure the leaves are raked, making sure that the small fixes that you had to do.
There aren't trees growing out of your eaves troughs. Bad place for your trees to be growing. Go.
Be cute.
Feature, I guess.
Unique.
No. Yeah.
And then the small things, and we had a whole segment on this, but the small things in terms of like sanding and painting and just doing those last minute touches on the exterior of your home.
Yeah.
And interior too.
Of course.
But any of those things that you've been holding off on to list, I suggest you do them now, this week.
Well, it's actually funny. Yeah, I went to a house on the weekend where it was priced fairly well, but the exterior just hadn't been maintained, and it literally had like painting, like chip paints all over it. Like it needed to be sanded down, but the whole house was wood siding, and all the window all the window sills, they needed to be sanded. Like it was all chipped paint. And I was just like, oh, and on a house that size, you're just like, oh my gosh, it's overwhelming. But then the inside was beautiful. Like it was really nicely redone. And it just, for my buyer, it was just like, I don't want to do all that stuff on the outside. It's getting cold. It's going to look like garbage for the next little bit on the exterior of the property. You've spent all this money on this house, but the outside looks really bad, and then the inside is all beautiful. So it was a detraction for my guy right off the bat, and it was actually a really cute house. It had a lot of positives, but because the exterior was so shoddy, my guy was just like, nah, I'm good. I don't want that kind of trouble right now, right? And so that's something to consider as well too. So
Yeah.
and then I think that's really all we need to talk about today. Now that we've talked about everything from the river down to selling in the fall and maintaining your house. Why do I have a country accent?
I'm not touching it.
It's one of those mornings.
So it is Thanksgiving this weekend.
Yes,
That's right, right? It is?
yay.
Yeah. Okay. Crazy.
Thanksgiving.
But
Turkey time.
we were going to. We didn't talk. What's the plan for next week for coffee time?
We are not here.
We are not here.
We will be back in 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks.
So enjoy your Thanksgiving. Enjoy your turkey or ham or whatever you guys eat on Thanksgiving. Enjoy your family. Take it all in. Have a great couple weeks, guys.
See you then.
Bye.